What's up, guys? Today I will be breaking down and solving one of the great debates of One Piece, which is the question of what is actually better, pre or post time skip. I have seen recency bias menaces that say like every new post time skip arc that comes out, they're like, oh, now this is the best one, this is the best one. And I also see nostalgia merchants that are like, oh, One Piece is not the same anymore. It doesn't hit the same anymore. So to end this great war between pre and post time skip, I'm gonna break this debate down in every important category that defines like how good a series is, and these categories all like have a lot to do with the charms and the great things about One Piece. First, I got comedy, which I gotta give to pre-time skip. Now, don't get me wrong, post-time skip still has a bunch of fun gags, and I would be lying if I did not say that I find myself laughing like a lot while reading or watching post-time skip, especially like a lot of the sillier or funnier scenes. It's just that pre-time skip One Piece comedy is that good. Genuinely, pre-time skip comedy is better than most actual comedy, anime, and manga out recently. That's not that hard though, not gonna lie, cause so many comedy anime that people think are the funniest thing since like Funny Sliced Bread, they're so unfunny. Konosuba, bro. Konosuba. Alright, back to the main thing I'm talking about though. Pre-time skip is really just so charming and ridiculous that the comedy is just unmatched, bro. Even the arcs that people hate on, like Long Ring, Long Island, I'll confess, I actually liked them just cause they were really that funny and the comedy was just that enjoyable. Weekly, I would understand if people didn't like that, but to binge that kind of arc, it's still enjoyable because the comedy's so good. Alright, we can call that 1-0 for pre-time skip, but now let's look at fights. I feel like One Piece doesn't get talked about for its fights as much as like a lot of other things, but the fights in the series are genuinely so fire and creative. If I gotta compare pre and post time skip though, that point is going to post time skip. Pre time skip had a lot of like fire fights, and I genuinely have read some of them like 50 times from when I was younger, because I would just get like a couple books from the library and just reread them nonstop. But the post time skip fights are really on another level. Fights like Luffy versus Katakuri were crazy, and the Wano fights were just another level. Like, I genuinely think that all of the Wano rooftop fighting as a whole has nothing that can match up to it in regards of how amazing the fighting is in the series. On top of all that, the anime fights now are so fire. Like, I used to barely even care about the anime, but nowadays, like, I'm always so curious about every single new episode just cause the animation and fights are so well done and just always like so interestingly adapted. Alright, we can call that 1-1. All tied up now, but to break the tie, at least for now, I got the category of backstories. An entire category for backstories would low-key be crazy for most series, but this is something I gotta have if I'm talking about One Piece. Backstories are like fuel for each arc and significant character, since they tell us something deep about the character through super well written and usually super sad backstories. This is a category that I just gotta give to pre-time skip. A big thing is that pre-time skip got like almost all the Straw Hats backstories, which were all just, like so sad and well written. Like, they were some of the best backstories in One Piece. Like the Straw Hats, all the backstories were great, at least for the most part. Nah, I'm playing though, cause even the less notable ones like Usopp and Zoro's, they're still solid. Like they weren't that trash or nothing. I will give post-time skip credit for they had the Odin backstory, the Law backstory, the Senior Pink backstory, and the Kuma backstory, because those were all some of like Oda's like greatest, best writing in my opinion. But the backstories in pre-time skip, like Choppers, Nami's, Frankie's, they're just something else, man. They're just something else. They mean something to me, man. Alright, it's 2-1 for pre-time skip after that one. And now we got the next category, which is pacing. With how long One Piece is, I feel that something important for Oda to do is have the Straw Hats like never overstay their welcome at like any one island. Going from island to island to island is something that really makes One Piece fun, and good pacing is a key aspect to making that part of One Piece fun. For this category, I gotta give it to pre-time skip again, I'm gonna be honest. Of course, in the anime, there were parts of post-time skip that were genuinely insane regarding pacing, with some of the Dressrosa moments and all that. In the manga too, I feel like the series, it's a little slower paced at times, because they don't be moving around as much like from island to island as much as they did in pre-time skip, which can make arcs at certain islands feel like they're dragging on a little bit. For example, you can compare the Alabasta arc, which like took like 5 islands of Baroque work stuff to get through. Meanwhile, you got Dressrosa, which is them going to Dressrosa, and they just hang there for like 200 chapters, bro. I don't think the pacing, at least in the manga, is that much worse from pre to post time skip, but I definitely think pre time skip had better pacing. Yo, I'm shouting out someone from the comments every video, so shout out to Lord Hyperion 4619. This comment's from a recent video I dropped, gassing up Kingdom, and yeah, for sure it deserves all the hype it gets. Like, you guys watching should check it out for sure, like just anytime you can, cause it is actually so good, bro. I backed the video though. Right now it's 3-1 for pre-time skip, but now we got a category that post-time skip wins, which is the battle of world building. World building is probably the thing that One Piece like is always famous for, and that people will always give One Piece props for. And it's a good reason, because One Piece world building is really that good. Like, even people who hate on One Piece be like, oh, One Piece literally got good world building and that's it. But that kind of shows how important the world building is in One Piece, that even the haters gotta admit, it's fire, bro, it's fire. The pre-time skip sets up things well, since it introduces the ideas of the main groups of One Piece, such as the Yonko, the Warlords, and the Marines. I will give what pre-time skip props in the fact that it's got Marineford too, which is such a fire, like coming together of a lot of the world building so far, and so many groups in the series that had already been established. But I gotta give it to post-time skip though, because that's like where the real payoff is, you know what I mean? Post-time skip is just constantly using old characters to expand on them and just making the world of One Piece feel even bigger and grander with every chapter. Post time skip really is like, it's like a web of so many different groups and places that come together to show the audience of how amazing the world of One Piece really is, which is, I just gotta give this to post time skip. Finally, we got the category of peaks, and what I mean by that is basically we're trying to see which part of One Piece has like the best top moments of the series. Pre-time skip got some crazy iconic peaks, such as Robin's when she's like, I wanna live, when Zoro's like, oh, nothing happened, Luffy when he gave Nami his straw hat, which is like probably the most famous early One Piece scene. In the end though, I just gotta give it a post time skip, because the scale of everything really makes the peaks that much better. The post time skip arcs being so long a lot of the time makes their peaks so anticipated and built up to, which makes them so hard hitting. Just in Wano, you have Odin's backstory, which had so many crazy peaks, the rooftop battle, which had like the craziest peaks ever, bro, like Gear 5 and all that, and then all the other stuff like constantly crazy happening throughout Onigashima. It's just pure like excitement, action, and like just peak reading that or watching it. So the winner in the end is nobody. It's a tie. Yay, everybody loves that, huh? That's definitely not like a lazy cop-out answer that answers nothing. Alright, for real though, I'm not even trying to be a bum, bro. It's just that they really are that close in quality. Like, both of them have things that they do better than the other, so the answer is, let's all be friends, bro. They both deserve equal respect, and in the end, they'll all be just the same story that makes up the great story of One Piece when the series is finished. Alright, gangos, thanks for watching, and consider subscribing if you're down, because I'm trying to get monetized. I see you, bubs.